There is Carl Bogomaz on your screen, and now here is Craig Wesco, the 27-year-old from Cincinnati, Ohio. Best place finish before this weekend was his previous Pro Tour, top 64 of Worlds. In Rome, he went 12-6, so a two-thirds record. That, taken across a career, is pretty stellar.
He's been stringing Pro Tours together. He strung together qualifying for Austin, a high rating after Austin into Worlds, Worlds into this. He's now going to be qualified for, conceivably for the remainder of the year.
Yeah. Absolutely, because he's guaranteed 16 points right here for being in the semi-final. There he is. He has a lot to smile about. He is really enjoying his Sunday experience. He was pretty scared coming down the stretch. The way that the last round worked out, it looked like there were kind of 4, 5, maybe 6 guys competing for what ultimately would be 2 or 3 slots in the top 8.
We were really eager to get that deck hack in with him. He was very nervous because while he's talking about the deck, he really was thinking about, am I top 8 or am I 9th, 10th?
And there is a big difference between 9th and 8th. You only have to ask Adam Koska of the Czech Republic about the difference between the two. He played in 2 Pro Tours last year, finished 9th in both of them.
So, Kyle Bogomaz is playing Jund, but we're going to see what, I guess, post-Sideboard, what we could call an echo-friendly Jund. He's going green. He said one of the big problems, he's siding out Threnex because Wesco's siding in Lightcaster, Devout Lightcaster.
Yep.
The 8 protection from Knights, the core Firewalkers and the White Knights are a real problem for him. He said the Threnex are really bad. Let's try Trained Armadons. So he's bringing in Garrix, he's making tokens.
And there you see Carl Bogomaz's sideboard, the one Malakir Blood Witch, which basically equalized this match up.
Right, he's bringing in Great Sable Stags, he's using his Garrix, he's going to make 3 3s. He said he was testing a lot. Both AJ Soccer and Cedric Phillips were testing White Weenie against him. And they, he developed this strategy to compete against them. And he said, he started winning, and they said, no one else has done that against us. That's his plan here. I mean, this is obviously a different White Weenie deck, but he feels that that's his road to victory.
Yeah, there's no doubt that however much you test, having flexibility and versatility, because you play against 3 White Weenie decks and they are just not the same. We tend to sort of put them into archetypes for ease because they're all playing planes and they've all got core Skyfishers or whatever, but in the end, it's actually playing the actual 60 cards and then post-board. That's one of the biggest lessons any pro will tell you. Make sure you test post-sideboard because at least half to 2/3 of the games are going to be with sideboard, and then when you get here, you could have 4 sideboard
Sometimes
games.
it's 80% of the games.
Yeah. So players are looking and players are going to mulligan. Let's take the opportunity, if we can, to look at Craig's sideboard. The 4 Devout Lightcaster, triple Sanctifies to get rid of artifacts and enchantments, the 2 O-Rings, couple of Day of Judgment, Luminarch Ascension. That's been an interesting card in all sorts of formats because people love that card to try and do amazingly cool stuff with, and sometimes it works and sometimes it really doesn't.
2 Relic of Progenitus.
Yep.
We can probably safely tuck those away for the rest of the way in this tournament.
Yep.
Now that the Open the Vaults deck is gone. The Day of Judgments are obviously coming in here. He's going to go up to a full set of 4. He's still going to have the Lightcasters. Obviously bringing in the Oblivion Rings. He's just got to do what he can.
Yep. So Wesco against Bogomaz. There you see the 2 of them, and we are away. There's Raging Ravine. There's a Core Firewalker.
Got it all, man.
So there's a Terminator Putrid Leech there for Bogomaz. Goes in search of land number 2. There it is. And a noticeable feature of all these matches is that they've played at a pretty crisp pace. We got through all 4 quarterfinals, just about an hour and 20 minutes, somewhere around that. So that's pretty crisp for best of 5s, even though we had a couple of 3-0s. There's the Putrid Leech.
Bam. I hope you don't have the
Not scared of the Firewalker.
You can go.
You will not miss a thing in Luis Scott Vargas against Simon Gertzen. They are taking a little break in their match so that we can bring you Bogomas Wesco Game 3. So we will go back to see whether LSV can keep the dream alive when the conclusion of this game. As Wesco says, here's my very own air traffic controller, Stoneforge Mystic. And
they'll probably get and play a trusty machete here. Nope, he's going to get the Sigil of Distinction.
That's a card that Antti Malin, the 2008 World Champion, was talking about. He's a real advocate of White Weenie. We saw him play that in Yokohama in 2007 in block, made the top 50 there with that, and that was a tournament where White Weenie was the expected deck, the big expected deck. It got promptly annihilated. Here, slightly more off the radar, and kind of came to prominence in the last few days. Everyone was aware of it, I think, but just to find so many playing it was a bit of a surprise.
It was like 5-2, right?
So, Wesco looks to tap his one remaining mana, and
trying to decide whether or not he wants to path Putrid Leech.
Yeah, path nice. Okay.
Decides to wait until upkeep.
Type of leech.
Nope.
How about Tumbler? Is it 17? 16. Okay.
down to 16.
Lightning.
There's Blightning.
Game 1? Sure. 17 and 14.
So 17 plays 14, I believe, is the life total.
That's you.
Going to get a look at what Craig discarded there. Can't quite see it in this camera angle. Plays a second Dread Statuary.
Sigil.
Plays the Sigil.
For 4.
Core Firewalker and Marsh Flats went away with Blightning.
And
So it's
attack
6.
for 6.
Okay, I'm at 11.
So card drops to 11. Putrid Leech facing Stoneforge Mystic, Core Firewalker with +3/+3. Really neat mechanic on Sigil of Distinction as well, that the equip cost is, it's just a little bit less good than it was. It's like a second-hand sale, it's like, it used to be this great thing, and now it's a little bit rusty, and now it's not very good. Yeah.
You get your big brother's pants.
I never had a big brother. I'm quite glad about that now I think about it.
We're generally a big pain in the neck.
You're the big brother?
Yeah.
Okay. I might have known.
Deathmark Firewalker. Firewalker? Yeah.
So the Firewalker is going to go away.
Also the Deathmark.
Yep. May not be instant, but it's still pretty powerful at just 1 mana. Just the ideal targeted kind of sideboard card you want. Double Statuary to go with the 2 planes for Wesco. And 2-man lands also on the other side for Kyle.
No attack with the Putrid Leech. You'd be looking at a 3/4 Stoneforge Mystic if he equipped.
How many do you have again? 3.
He said these guys played each other in the Swiss. Very, very close match. Kyle felt like he learned a lot from that match. And while he won, feels like he actually improved. Felt like it was pretty unfavorable for him. Feels like this time out, he's advantaged because of how he's approached his sideboard.
There you see the hand, Dread Statuary number 3, Plains number 3, Elspeth Knight Errant number 1. The Statuary comes down.
Play Statuary.
And I think it's quite a good idea when you are in your first PD top 8, and just generally, to take a little bit of time to just make sure that you are making the correct plays, that you're happy with what you're going to do. And neither player has been rushed here. They were both, even though they played pretty crisply, they were still prepared to just take that little extra second just to go, am I doing this right?
I think that's true outside of the top 8 also.
They're quite handy, in fact, in Magic in general. So, in we come.
So you get 9 and 8. Yep.
Bongo is down to 8.
What's up?
Eats a Dread Statuary equipped with Sigil of Distinction.
Wood Rudolph. Okay.
So, what do we get from the Cascade?
Get a Great Sable Stag. Trained Armadon, as Kyle referred to it.
Yep.
Attack for 3.
He will now send the Bloodbraid into the red zone and put Craig down to 11.
It'll be interesting to see if the results from this tournament influence a lot of other monocolored decks to play Dread Statuary.
Yeah.
We certainly haven't seen it. One of the problems with playing a monocolored deck is you don't get the advantage of having a man land.
For sure.
So, Dread Statuary maybe felt a little, less exciting than some of the other options in the two-colored, rare slot. But
the man land that could.
Yeah. It's looked very good for Kyle this weekend. I mean, for Craig this weekend.
So a reminder that Louis Scott Vargas currently trails Simon Gertzen by 2 games to 1. They are not currently playing. They will play game 4 before your very eyes around the world. So you are missing nothing there. As we see who will take the edge here in game 3. So out comes Elspeth, the Planeswalker. Are we going to see soldiers? Are we going to see +3/+3 in flying? We're going to see a token. Soldier out of the box.
And a potentially lethal Dread Statuary next turn.
Yep.
Comes a 5/3 with the equipment.
8/6 with flying via the good Lady Elspeth. Kyle sorting his mana, but he's only at 6, so he can't sort it for Cruel Ultimatum mana.
Okay.
I think you have to actually have 9 Proto top 8s before you get to arrange your land for Cruel Ultimatum mana.
I'm bored. Let me attack.
Was that your impression of a Great Sable Stag or a Bloodbraid Elf?
Maybe both.
Oh, okay. I wonder whether we'll be alive to see Magic where everything's in 3D like the Star Wars chess game on board the Millennium Falcon. Pick me, pick me.
Moto 4.0.
Yeah. I've seen the beta for that. It's pretty exciting.
Attack you for 6.
I haven't. Foreign posters. That's a lie.
Kyle sends in both his 3 power creatures.
Okay, they convinced him.
Craig is on 11. He sees that this gives him a window to win, but will the window get slammed on his fingers is what he has to be wondering about. Like, obviously Kyle's not going to attack here unless he has something to do.
Got a pretty impressive front row of the audience here right now. We've got Gavin Verhey, Brian Kowals, V. Moshevitz, Ben Swartz from GG's Live watching on here as we see who will take the edge and go 1 up with 2 to play.
He's going to double block the Bloodbraid.
Okay. Blocker 1, blocker 2. Take 3.
Craig goes to 8.
Yep. Cool.
Around about 10:15, 11 on Sunday night in Europe, if you're watching this. Thanks for staying up with us. Already we're into Monday morning in Japan. Sorry your guy didn't make it further than the quarterfinal.
They're all asleep.
They are, they've probably gone to bed by now.
Actually, they're not. Everyone's waiting to see what happens with LSV.
Yeah.
Wherever you are in the world.
Were we in this predicament last time and you had to terminate?
I hear Craig saying something about it. Remember the last time we did this, you had to terminate.
Well, there are 2 cards you can see there on the left of your screen sitting in Bogema's hand.
And if Craig flipped either of them over, he'd see that they were terminate.
Yeah, and then he'd get a game loss.
Okay.
So statuary becomes active. Elspeth says, I would like to make that very, very big. I would like to equip. I would like to attack.
Always have it.
Yeah,
Well,
I always have the terminate. I'm running good. And you saw just that little hope in Craig's eyes there. It's like, well, I know you probably should have it, but I'd like to think you didn't.
Should have won. Go.
Craig comes to 1 from the attack for 7. He's got... And even if there's nothing in Kyle's hand, this attack is not lethal because he can't get an extra 1 off of
the sigil. Because you can see
equip
that.
it goes to 0.
Yep.
And it looks like an Arid Mesa also, so he would actually have to go... he can't activate that Arid Mesa.
Yep, it's a blank. You see that quite a lot in Extended as well. In games that go long, you see people finding out their lands that they just cannot use. Up we go to 7. There's a token. 1/1 soldier. And there's another Stoneforge Mystic. Shields up.
Kyle is about to go 2-1. He'll be able to